Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Idahoan Show. As you may recall, the last time that I threw out a pair of steel-toed work boots, we did some testing to see if the steel safety toe would actually stop a bullet. Well, the time has come that my wife has finally convinced me to retire a couple more pairs of boots. And, I'm kind of hesitant to throw these out because, with my improvised repair job and everything, they're actually still marginally wearable. But the decision has been made to retire them, and so I figure we might as well give them a proper send-off. I've actually got two pairs that I'm retiring, so we might get a couple videos out of this, but I figure we may as well do sort of a follow-up to my previous video on testing just how bulletproof a steel safety toe is. Now, in my previous video, we had determined that the steel toe would stop a 9mm pistol round, but not a .44 Magnum. So the first question that brings to my mind is, what about a .357 Magnum? This is somewhat intermediate between those two, so I think the first thing we need to do is shoot one of these with a .357 Magnum and see what that does. Not looking good. In fact, yeah, I can see through that hole. The steel is definitely split. So it went through there. Oh, and then you can see where the bullet came out the bottom. So it looks like a steel toe will not stop a .357 Magnum. Of course, we could argue that, it was kind of down at the edge, and it was mostly going forward, which is not really the direction that these are designed to provide protection. So, maybe I should set it up and shoot it again more on top, just to get a second data point to be sure. Okay, now that I've cut the boot open, you can see better how that first shot, coming in at an angle in the front, just kind of split the toe and then went through the sole. My second shot was kind of right at the very back of the steel toe, and so it just kind of dented it in and glanced off the side and, went through the sole of the boot. And then my third shot, was right in the middle of the steel toe, right on top. And that one, sure dented it in, just about collapsed the steel toe completely, but it did stop the bullet. So it looks to me like .357 Magnum is probably right at the upper limit of what a steel safety toe is capable of stopping. Now, the other thing we did in my previous test was we shot the steel safety toe with a .22 pistol, and it stopped that pretty easily. But we didn't try a .22 rifle. So that raises the question of, if we fire that same cartridge out of a longer barrel, get the bullet moving a little bit faster, is that going to make a difference? So I think we need to take the second boot of this pair and shoot it with a .22 rifle. Okay, so just like we saw last time with the pistol, the .22 bullet easily went through the leather, hit the steel toe, and stopped. And then we see some additional damage to the leather from spalling generated by the bullet fragmenting when it hit the steel. Now, I do feel a little bit more of a dent in the steel toe on the inside than what I remember with the pistol round, but I'd say that the steel toe is still pretty effective at stopping .22 rifle rounds. Okay, so it looks like steel-toed boots will generally stop a .22 rimfire, but what if we take it to the next level with a .223? This is essentially the same diameter bullet, a little bit heavier projectile, 55 grains versus 36, and moving quite a bit faster. Although, shooting it out of an AR pistol like this, we won't have quite as much velocity as if we were using a full-length rifle. Well, looks like our 223 went straight through. I guess we can cut the leather open and take a better look, though. Yep, there's our hole in the steel toe. And now that I've got this steel toe out of the boot, you can clearly see the difference between our little divot from the 22 rimfire round and the hole from the 223. Well, I think this helped to round out our tests from last time, and at this point I have thoroughly destroyed this pair of steel-toed boots, so now I'll have to throw them away like my wife wanted in the first place. I do have another pair of steel-toed boots that I'm probably going to retire as well. I'm thinking I may test some shotgun rounds on those, but we'll save that for a separate episode. So until then, thank you for watching the Idahoan Show.